everybody. Sorry it has been so long since I have created any videos, but I wanted to give you a couple updates as to what's been going on, kind of how my trapping season ended, what I've been doing this spring and into the summer, and I'm kind of looking forward to the season going forward. So let's talk real quick about the ending of the season, which for me is taking the fur and basically selling it. So I met the Grunwald truck over in Marshfield, Missouri in March when it came through. Really good experience. It's always fun going and meeting the fur truck and seeing everyone else, and they're bringing all their stuff there and everything. And met some people there that I knew from the trapping world already. I'm not going to say their names because they may not want their names out there, but some cool, a really cool guy from New Mexico that we got a chance to talk to a bunch. Told a lot of stories. He moved here from New Mexico. Trapper had a bobcat from out there that he had caught the previous year and hadn't sold yet, and he had a couple Missouri cats there that he was selling, and you got to compare that New Mexico cat to those Missouri cats. Not really a comparison at all. I think if I remember right, he got 125 or 130, 140, something out of the New Mexico cats. I think he was getting like 40 or something for his Missouri cats, but that just shows you the difference. So that was really fun talking to him. And then met someone else that we already knew, who we had talked about in a previous video on the channel, who was just kind of coming by, and we ended up chatting. He recognized me from some videos. Met him there, got to chat with him a bunch, hang out with him, talk about him, what's going on in his world, talk about his wife, talk about everything that was going on in their trapping season. So that was really cool to see both of them. And then we met some other guys there, and so it's always fun to go and just sell your furs and meet people at the fur truck. My furs, all I had to sell was coyotes, and I don't even remember the exact number total because I had sold them in 2 different batches. I think this last batch I sold like 35 or somewhere around there. The most I got for any coyote was $35, but I got $35 for a pile of coyotes. The least I got was $10, and that was 2 different coyotes that I got for 10. And honestly, I knew both of those were not good. They weren't mangy or anything, they just didn't have good fur. But again, it's like if I'm gonna harvest the animal, I'm gonna go ahead and try to, I'm gonna go ahead and skin it and flesh it and go through that whole process and sell it. Because even though I didn't make very much money, I mean 20 bucks out of those 2 coyotes, I felt like I have respect for the animal. I needed to do justice. And now hopefully that animal, even though it wasn't the highest quality of fur, it's out there somewhere, hopefully doing something, whether it's on a jacket or whatever it is. That animal is living on and is doing something worthwhile, and rather than just, harvesting it and throwing it in a ditch. I'm just not a believer in that. So overall, I'm pretty happy. I think I averaged around $30 for most of my coyotes on average, between a couple with 10s. And I think I had 2 10s and maybe 2 20s. And then I had a whole bunch of 30s and a whole bunch of 35s. So I was somewhere around that $30 range on average for coyotes, which for here in Missouri is pretty good. I'll take that and deal with it, right? So yeah, pretty good overall. So that pretty much ended my trapping season. And then I rolled into spring, since that was I think that was around the 19th of March when the truck came through, or somewhere around there. So like the 3rd week of March. So by then, I was already gardening. I was already in the middle of, spring food plots and working on my farm for wildlife and things of that nature. So I kept really busy all spring doing that. And then into the summer, and then just working on little projects. And then finally, in June, I decided, I think I've had enough of working for the government and the bureaucracy. And I kind of just felt like I was at a point where I just really wasn't able to get things accomplished that I wanted to get accomplished from the bureaucracy. So I said 27 years is good enough. and I put in my papers and I retired, and my last day was like June 30th. So I got that out of the way, and that has been, today is the first day of August. So I had about a whole month now, and let me tell you, it's pretty much awesome. I say retired, but that's really not the case. I just kind of changed jobs basically, although I retired from the government. So as most of you know or may not know, I was doing human trafficking investigations upon retirement, and had been for the last several years. And it wasn't the main reason I retired at all. The main reason was just I was pretty much tired of the government and the bureaucracy and the waste and the fighting and everything else that goes along with that. But I had plenty of opportunities to do things in the private world. So now I'm doing human trafficking training and consulting and stuff in the private world, which allows me to travel all around the US and help law enforcement and different victim advocates and even the community, and doing a variety of things. And it's kind of scary to say, but I've probably accomplished more in the last month doing that than I did in the last year working for the government. It's just so much easier to get things accomplished. And you can, it's just so much easy. It's no wonder we're in such trouble in the United States. That different discussion for a different video. So retired, doing this new thing, having a lot of fun doing that. And honestly, kind of waiting for trapping season, because unlike previous years where I've had to trap like 4 o'clock in the morning before work, skin after work, maybe take a week off in December, take a week off in January, trap with my buddy Steve Crane, who's also a retired trooper. This year, I'll have the whole trapping season off. So I'm like looking forward to that as much as anything, because I'm thinking, I've never had the whole trapping season off. Even in high school, I had to go to school and stuff, right? So this will be like the first year in my whole life that I've ever had 3 months, basically, of the trapping season, 2.5 months, of the trapping season off. Now, I'll still be doing, some work and some things like that, but I'll be able to build my own schedule for the most part. So I plan on being in a position where I can trap really hard for a couple months, and that's going to be really, really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. And Steve has told me that he's going to trap really, really hard with me. So he's got a bad back, as you know, and missed last season. So he's really jonesing, ready to go. I've got a bad hip. But between his bad back and my bad hip, we're going to be limping around, trapping our tail off for 2.5 months. So hopefully this is going to be a really, really fun time to go trapping and get all that stuff done. I have not had any time to go to any trapping conventions. Steve and I were going to try to make it to the NTA, but we were unable to do that, which I'm a little saddened by. And I honestly don't know if I'll make it to any trapping conventions this year. I went to the Missouri Trappers Association last year convention, and I may or may not go this year. We'll see. So that's kind of where I am. That's kind of the update of what I have going on. So just got done putting some of the very first, I got a bunch more to put in of what I'm going to put in for my fall garden projects. And then I'm going to shoot some video about some of my other projects I've been doing around the farm, just to have, something to do, keep to contact with everybody and whatever. And then I'll start shooting some trapping stuff probably around the end of August, as far as getting a little bit more detail about maybe prep stuff. And I've had a bunch of requests about exactly how do I set traps and maybe some set making videos and things like that. So I'm going to maybe try to do that as well. So that's about it. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been super hot lately, so hopefully you're getting through that. And we'll talk very, very soon, okay? So be careful out there, and we'll talk soon.